Hey YouTube folks, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm already warning you, craziness is in the air. Hold on to your seat so you don't fall, because today I'm going to bring you a collection of the 7 most aggressive chess openings. That's right. And guys, in this video, the aggressiveness of the openings will increase as it goes on, alright? So I'm going to start from the 7th all the way to the one I consider the most aggressive of all. The collection I will show you today is my own, reflecting my opinion on the most aggressive openings. And get your hearts ready and let's check out these openings now. And number 7 on our list, here it is. The Scotch Gambit is a chess opening sequence 1. E4, E5, 2. Nf3 and C6. And in this position, immediately, white starts to create contact in the center, gaining space with the move d4. In this position, black has several ways to play, okay? The most played move for black here is to capture this pawn, and by far, the most played move for white in this position, okay? And the Scotch position would be knight takes d4, which leads to solid, consistent positions, without any problems for either side, okay? Since we're discussing aggressive openings, we won't capture the pawn on d4. Instead, we're going to play the Scotch Gambit. A gambit is when you sacrifice a pawn to gain a developmental advantage. So, in this position, white plays bishop to c4, which is a very active developing move, okay? White pressures the f7 pawn, possibly playing knight to g5 to increase the pressure. White also has an easy time castling and protecting the king, right? And in some very, very aggressive lines, white can play c3 here, sacrificing another pawn. When black captures, knight takes c3 follows, quickly activating the knight from b1. This is an opening that can be very well applied in bullet games, blitz games, okay? Because it leads to a very dynamic game, and you can create a lot of problems for your opponent. Number 6 on our list is the fried chicken attack. But what kind of name is that, Raphael? The fried chicken attack is an interesting attacking idea for white in chess, though I'm unsure who came up with the name. It consists of the sequence e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4, followed by knight f6. And here we're playing the Italian opening, which is a very solid and very common opening. In fact, the most played move for white in this position is to play knight to c3 developing, which is a very solid move, but it's also a bit boring. And since we want to play aggressive and attacking openings here, we're not going to play knight to c3. Instead, we're going to go into the fried chicken attack with the idea of knight to g5. This idea, this move, puts pressure on the f7 square twice, with the knight and the bishop, and brings a very direct tactical theme of playing knight takes f7 and applying a fork on the rook on h8, and the queen on d8, already winning material at the beginning of the game. So if your opponent isn't well prepared against the fried chicken attack, they can already have serious problems in the opening. There is a defense here for black, which would be to play d5. But of course, your opponent has to be aware of these ideas, because otherwise they might get a big surprise at the start of the game. At number 5, we have an aggressive opening for black, the Latvian Gambit. It's a very interesting and aggressive choice for black players looking to take the initiative from the start. It consists of the sequence e4, e5, and after knight to f3 black, plays f5 a-bomb on the board. A move that really bothers white's position, alright? Actually, I don't really like playing against the Latvian Gambit because black's idea is very straightforward. They want to take the pawn on e4 and already poke at the knight and start causing trouble right at the beginning of the game. After capturing this gambit, black can continue with e4, which already bothers white's position by attacking the knight early in the game. Knight to c5 is the most played move here, and after knight to f6 bishop, to d2 black can play bishop to e7, already preparing to castle. Also notice that there could be sequences with queen to d6 poking the knight, and soon after bishop takes on f5, this pawn on e4 will really bother the natural development of white's pieces, okay? And it's a very interesting opening, again, to play in rapid games, blitz games. You can add it to your list because it will surprise your opponent. And the next opening on our list is the Halloween Gambit. This gambit is really, really fun to play, okay? Very interesting and definitely a lot of aggressive ideas. It consists of the sequence e4, e5, knight f3 knight, c6, knight c3 knight f6. And then in this position, which is a very well-known four knights opening, white completely leaves the most common lines and goes for the Halloween gambit with the crazy move knight takes e5. Yes, white gives up an entire piece in the opening, in exchange for quick control of the center and a lot of space. So the most played line for black is knight takes e5, then d4, knight c6, d5, again attacking the knight, knight e5, 4 again, poking the knight, knight g6, and now e5, poking another knight. And notice that this position is very interesting, very fun to play. White gets a lot of space and very strong control of the center. With this pawn structure in this position, black will have to bring the knight back to its original square, okay? And white will be able to develop very quickly and easily, bringing the bishop out along this diagonal, preparing to castle short at any moment without difficulty. The dark-squared bishop also comes out to active positions. The queen can come to f3, and there could even be future ideas of playing with g4, f5 and going all out on the attack. It's a very fun, very cool position to play in blitz games, and you can really surprise your opponent, right? Continuing on our list now, number 3, we have here one of the most famous and aggressive openings in chess, which is the King's Gambit. That's right. What is the King's Gambit like? The King's Gambit consists of the sequence e4, e5, and f4. And in this position, black can accept the gambit by capturing the pawn on f4. As white, there are multiple ways to play this chess position. Bishop to c4 is one of them, knight to f3 is another. So I'm going to suggest knight to f3 in this position. And the most played move for black here is g5. Okay? So black also plays aggressively, already wanting to play g4 and poke the knight. White continues here with bishop to c4, and after the move g4, we go into the opening and the most aggressive line possible in the King's Gambit, which is called the Muzio Gambit. It consists of castling in this position, giving up an entire piece. Yes, if you want aggression, we've got it here. So in this position, black can take the knight, and after queen takes on f3, the idea white has in this position is as follows. The following compensations, lots of development advantage. Notice that black still hasn't developed any of their pieces. All pieces are in their starting positions, with white to move, already has a very active bishop, queen, and rook creating pressure on the f-file. The main strategic theme for white here is to try to capture the f4 pawn at some point and create a battery of pieces attacking the f7 pawn, a bishop, queen, and rook. Other ideas that can happen here are to try to dominate the center with moves like d4 knight to c3 and capture the f4 pawn with the bishop, bringing all the pieces into play quickly. The King's Gambit and the Muzio Gambit are openings that can very well be used in blitz games with good results. Number 2 on our list, we have none other than the Cochrane Gambit. It's a very creative opening, definitely a crazy one, and it consists of the sequence e4, e5, and after knight f3, knight f6, it appears we're playing a standard Petrov defense. We capture the pawn on e5, and here black's most common move is d6 white's most common response is to retreat the knight to f3. That's the theory of the Petrov, but that's not what we're going to do. The Cochrane Gambit consists of the move knight takes on f7. That's crazy! One of the most aggressive and interesting openings in chess, okay? The idea is that we're sacrificing a knight here because we're giving a fork on the rook and the queen, forcing black to capture this knight so they don't lose material. And in this position, notice the following. White has gained 2 pawns for the piece, and that's the main theme, compensation. Black's king is exposed, it's centralized here without castling, and black still has some development issues. The main theme for white will be to exploit the king. In fact, this opening can be very well applied even in games with longer time controls, okay? If you master the theory of the Cochrane Gambit, you can definitely surprise your opponent a lot. Del Ward. And now, guys, hold on to your seats because we've reached number 1, the most aggressive opening in chess in my opinion, which is the Danish Gambit. It consists of the following sequence e4, e5, and in this position, without hesitation, white plays d4, already offering a pawn, pawn takes pawn. And now you might be thinking, okay, now white takes back the pawn. No, if you're afraid to give up your pieces in a chess game, you can't play this. The Danish Gambit requires sacrifice. White plays c3, giving up another pawn. Black captures, but instead of recapturing, white develops with bz4. Black takes more pawns, and white plays bx-b2. And we've reached the key position of the Danish Gambit. What is the advantage for white in giving up all these pieces, these pawns? Well, white has a big development advantage here, okay? The bishop here attacks the pawn on f7, already threatening the king. The bishop on b2 attacks the pawn on g7. The pieces are developing very naturally here. The queen can even come out via h5 in some variations. White can castle short, and in some really crazy lines, even castle long in this position, which is truly wild. Well, guys, the Danish Gambit is a very aggressive opening. It can work really well in blitz games, okay? Give it a try yourselves. Well, guys, this is the roundup of the 7 most aggressive chess openings, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if I missed any openings and give your suggestions, because I can make new roundups. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit the like button. See you next time. Thanks.